It's time to hit the road again in the American Motors Hornet Sportabout DL. I'm going to visit Father Tom Lamont, the pastor of St. Aloysius here in Spokane. Let's ride. And though it's not far to drive to St. Al's, Father Lamont has begged me to ride in my luxury wagon. Tom, come on, let's go.
Bishop!
You can finish that English, Greek, and Latin. Typical Jesuit.
Bishop, it's my training.
So Tom, what kind of car did you have growing up?
Bishop, it was a 1970 Ford LTD.
Classic car.
It was
sedan or a wagon?
Car. It was a sedan. I loved that car. I even drove that car in college.
Did you?
Yeah.
I used to drive that down the streets of San Francisco.
Yeah, sure.
So I
it wasn't as sporty as this.
Well, you know, I think the designers at American Motors were always cutting edge. We're going to take a drive. I know that you said your mom grew up in this parish. She went to St. Al's?
She did, yes.
So, again, she's a legacy?
In this neighborhood, she is. She's Catholic school legacy, absolutely. And then if you go slower, it's this second house.
Is it?
Yeah. This house is the house my mother grew up in. My grandparents purchased this house and raised their family in it.
What was your mom's maiden name?
A Micarella.
Oh, the old Micarella place.
That's right, the old Micarella place.
Of course, in New England, you're always defined by the previous owner.
Sure.
Yeah, like the old Whitaker place.
Now, but I didn't grow up in this parish, Bishop. My mother did, and it was my grandmother's parish when I was growing up. We grew up at St. Francis Xavier Parish in Spokane. Yeah, and then I went on to Gonzaga Prep. But I loved St. X as I look back on it now. I loved it.
What was it that you liked about it? I mean, Catholic education, what kind of formed you lasting?
I had good friends. So what I liked was the sense of community, the families that were a part of that parish. It was a really good parish. Bishop, I'm delighted, and I want to congratulate you on being chair of the Bishop's Committee for Catholic Education.
Thank you, Tom.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, I think both of us, having spent a good chunk of our priesthood in Catholic education, you teaching at, Bellarmine, Tacoma, and Gonzaga Prep?
Yes.
What, teaching theology, what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced in either one of those schools?
To make church history relatively interesting to them. I loved teaching scripture. I loved teaching church history, but that was a challenge. You know, another challenge, Bishop, was teaching freshmen and teaching scripture. Some kids that weren't coming from Catholic schools would automatically think they were way behind the kids coming from Catholic schools, which they really weren't, based on what we were teaching. But it was the confidence that made the difference. And so I always tried to encourage them to have more confidence that they could learn all this stuff.
I taught, as you did, every grade level. But one of the things I think was important was the Catholic school kids, for a kid coming out of public school where you can't talk about faith and religion and question anything about God in the public school, to be actually in front of peers who can speak about faith. I thought those kids were good for the kids coming out of public school and non-Catholic kids. But what the non-Catholic kids did in many ways was ask questions so that the Catholic school kids who thought, well, geez, that's just, I kind of, I believe this, or at least I know it, it helped them. So Tom, having been a graduate of a Catholic grade school and Catholic high school and university, obviously a Jesuit priest now, and pastor of a parish with a successful school, what is it about Catholic education that I think you're grateful for, or I don't know, that just said, hey, I'm proud to be the pastor of St. Al's where we have a Catholic grade school?
I think that it's an education that grounds you in morals and ethics. It grounds you in a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I think we're much more intentional about that now in our schools. Not that it wasn't happening before, but it was just kind of part of the air, you know?
Yep.
And we're much more intentional, and you see it in I see it in the kids.
When I visit the grade schools, when Jesus said, "Let the children come to me, do not hinder them," they just are infused with grace.
They are.
And they want to know Christ, and it falls upon us as bishop, as priest, as pastor, as shepherd also to introduce them and to witness and to encourage parents to say, this is a priority. And kind of the theme in our diocese, I'm sure you'd agree with this, is Catholic schools now more than ever. I know you have to get to work as pastor of a successful pastor of the parish. Let's take you. Oh wait, we're here already.
We're here.
Bishop,
you're an amazing driver. Thank you.
Well, it's always amazing when you're in the American Motors Hornet Sportabout DL.
It is amazing. That's an excellent word to describe it.
My gratitude to Father Lamanna and St. Aloysius for sharing how his Catholic school education has shaped his extraordinary life as a priest and a pastor.